for commercial and retail. The idea behind that was to have walkable communities. So you have a center of the community where you have a store, you have something that people can go to without getting in their car and driving 5 miles to Publix and burdening our roads. So that wasn't a compromise. It was reduced to 0. I would like to see maybe some people show up in October and say, where is the compromise? How can we help both sides feel happy with what we wind up with? Thank you.
I think it's time that we have to move on now.
Oh, I didn't get to say something about that topic?
Go ahead.
Okay. Of course, I disagree with my opponents on this particular topic. It's true. We wouldn't be having meetings on fiscal neutrality if they weren't planning to change it. And they are planning to change it and weaken it. The current policy, there's 2 policies, Sarasota 2050, that says clearly that the infrastructure within the development should not burden the Sarasota County taxpayer living outside the development. And they are changing those terms. And what you're talking about, impact fees, is let's say it costs $10,000 per household to build a new road to the house. And they agree that that's how much they're going to pay, and that makes it fiscally neutral. Well, if the county reduced impact fees to $5,000, it still costs $10,000 to build that road, but the house is only paying for $5,000. Who has to pay the other $5,000? Now I'm using numbers. I know you're making no paper. I'm just using numbers. I don't know if that's the cost, but that's the concerns we have. Is who's going to be paying for what they're not paying for? One of the things they want to take out of the list of things that the development pays is bus service. Well, if they're not paying for bus service, we have to pay for the bus service out there. So that's what we're concerned about, is the changes to fiscal neutrality, that in the long run, who pays for those services that they're going to use?
We're getting different versions of what's going on from the different people that are sitting here.
I think we're not going to solve that tonight, and so I think it's time for us to move on. Thank you all very much. Now we will have the candidates for the seat 2 of the hospital board. Seat 2 first.
Okay, thank you.
Go for it. 4 of us?
Okay. And once again, in alphabetical order, we have 2 candidates for seat 2 and 2 candidates for seat 1, which we're going to do together. The first is John Brill from seat 1.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to be nice and short tonight on this. My name is Jack Brill. I am a candidate on seat number 2 Northern District for Hospital Board. Before I talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, but I'm going to over for Bob. Bob, we had our first home here 14 years ago. My grandparents were here for 30 years. Bob's been on the board for over 16 years. Well, many people have been playing a lot of golf. He's been serving the community. So I just want to, here we are in the Meadows. I want to give everyone a round of applause for all the things he's done for the last 16 years. Just real quickly, I am actually, as I mentioned, been in the area for 14 years. I'm involved in the healthcare industry. We've been dealing with the hospital world for over 20 years. We are, I was in various projects, various parts of the industry, and the healthcare industry is changing dramatically. And we are very fortunate with Sarasota Memorial as a gem of our area, and we're very fortunate that it's in the great financial shape that it's in. One of the things, just a couple things to note, is the medical world, the healthcare world is changing over the next year as it's changing now. We've got to continue to keep this gem going, as many things are happening. As an example, by 2017, there'll be over 500 community hospitals that'll be out of business in the United States. And in my day job business, we're already seeing some hospital clients that are having financial issues already. 2, we have got with the Medicare reimbursements, there's a system called Press Gaining, and everything is monitored and measured in the hospital system, whether it's doctors, clinical nurses, food, environmental services. one of the things that's about to start happening in 2015 is in these measurements, if you don't score in the top quartile, and guys, I apologize, I've been going since 6:30 this morning, it's getting late, and I have to be, it's getting late, so I'm tired. But as part of the Medicare reimbursements, if you're not in the top quartile in every category, and you go down one notch, then Medicare is going to hold funds, and not only you're not going to get your 100% reimbursement for what they give, then they're going to be giving it to other hospital facilities, whoever scores better within a regional basis. So, as somebody who cares about the community, wants to be involved, I was very fortunate when, and asked me many, many months ago, we were working on a college project that was for a university that was going to come to Sarasota with healthcare programs in the master's area, which would have been really great. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but it gave us very conversations, and where one was nice enough and asked me to get involved in the hospital, and committee level, my name was being vetted through when this whole race came up. But I think that at some point, where it can be an incredible candidate in the healthcare industry and helping with our hospital system. And I will say, we've all heard about the great pledge. I was the first one to sign it. You have to throw that out there. But no matter, and I'll get down here real quick, no matter the great thing about this particular race, no matter who wins or loses, Sarasota is the community is going to benefit. We know whoever the winner of the race is going to do a great job to continue to help Sarasota Memorial and the community and our patients. Thank you.
And in alphabetical order, next we have Joe Virgilio.
I'm Joe DiVirgilio, and I'm running for the number 2 seat in the Central District. So you don't get confused, we'll make it very easy. You guys vote for all of the hospital board members, okay? So we'll make it easy. You don't have to worry about Central. You don't have to worry about whether you're Republican or Democrat or Independent. But it's all going to happen on August 26th. That's the important thing that you have to walk away with, is you will be choosing the hospital board members on August 26th. I'm new to the community. I was from the Hudson Valley in New York. We purchased our first home for, like all of us, for some vacation time in 2003, and we retired down here at the end of 2010. I'm a 37-year utility executive. I got a master's degree in electric power engineering, but spent most of my life in management and really was the problem solver. How did I get involved with the hospital? I am an incumbent board member. Last, was it April of 2013, I happened to be reading the local paper, and it said there was an ad from the hospital board, said they had a vacant seat that they needed to fill. Like I did up in New York, I wanted to get back involved. I believe you've got to give back to your community. You can't just take, especially in retirement. And I filled out, now here, I'm an HR executive. I had to fill out a resume. I filled out my resume, I sent it into the board, and lo and behold, they had me come in for an interview. Well, I'm not sure how much of an interview, but anyway, I was selected. And I'm really happy that I was. Within 6 months of being on the board, I was hugely impressed with your local hospital. So much so that my wife and I made a pretty substantial contribution to the hospital to keep things going the way it needs to go. I'm a volunteer. I'm running for election, which they told me I wasn't going to have to worry about, but we're here today. I think I can add value, and that's the more important thing. I think I can add value. I have 20+ years of hospital board experience. I was involved in New York in starting a hospice. I was involved in New York in starting Habitat for Humanity. And I was also the board president for American Cancer Society. I am a cancer survivor. I know what it takes to have world-class medicine in your community and keep it here. I fully support the public hospital. That's the most important thing. We take the profits from that hospital and roll them back into the community. As the treasurer, I put forth every month about about $10 million worth of charity care every month in that hospital. Now, you won't pay taxes. That covers about 28 days worth of our revenues. Now, there's been some issues associated with, well, we're spending your money. Healthcare has changed, and the key there is that you want in that hospital what? World-class medicine, a private room, and somebody there to respond to you when you need it. My personal experience is you have world-class medicine here, and I want to keep it that way. Thank you.
And next is Bob Strasser.
Good evening, I'm Robert Strasser, and I'm running for the hospital board, Northern Division, seat number 2, which covers the Meadows. I'm going to tell you ahead of time that I'm not here really to speak about myself as much as I am to talk about the board, the present board. And when I learned I was going to speak here tonight, a couple of weeks ago, I went home and jotted some notes down of what I might say. And as I reread those notes, I thought to myself, gee, they're awfully important. I'm going to read to you what I wrote because I think I don't want to, if I did an extemporaneous speech, I might miss something, and I don't want to do that. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to read to you. I am, by the way, when Jack mentioned I had 16 years service, that was incorrect. I have 20. I have proudly served Sarasota as a board member and 4 times chairman of the board for the past 20 years. Even though I'm quite proud of our accomplishments and the current financial condition of Sarasota Memorial. We face material reductions, as Jack had mentioned, in Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements, and only recently appointed a new CEO. Additionally, external forces are working to change our hospital to a for-profit one. Additionally, an experienced board is critical in helping to successfully manage these challenges. I can't envision a time when experience at the board level is more essential than today. The current board of directors collectively represents 66 years of hospital governance experience just at Sarasota Memorial. And the results reflect that fact. We need to keep our current board intact. I said I've served Sarasota Memorial for 20 years. Prior to that, I was on the board of a hospital in Illinois for 10 years. So I've been doing this for, I guess that's 30 years. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is today in the best financial condition it has been in years. It has won more awards and recognitions than almost all the other Florida hospitals put together, and is ranked among the top hospitals in the nation. The current board, with a very deep width of experience, along with top-tier management and an outstanding workforce, have worked in unison to achieve these goals. There are forces within the state, but outside our community, that wish to change Sarasota Memorial and make it a for-profit operation. This would deprive many of our county of essential medical care, as well as put unprofitable areas, such as maternal and birthing services, at risk. We cannot let that happen. I want to repeat, we cannot let that happen. I have a strong record of both supporting and keeping Sarasota Memorial as Sarasota County's public, not-for-profit hospital. My opponent will tell you he has signed a pledge, and did tell you he has signed a pledge to do the same. I don't have to sign the pledge. I've lived it for 20 years. Thank you.
We have Michael Sutphin now.
Hey, good. Hey, good late evening to you. I'll try to be brief. I am Mike Sutphin, and this is not a flashlight, it's my truth light. And if you elect me to the board, I will try to use this as my symbol on my desk to seek the truth from the administration and the board. So thank you for your invitation. And I'm going to read a little bit too, because I'm nervous as hell up here. And, you know, I have a question that I might answer for you. How much is $46 million a year? A lot of money, $46 million a year. I am, Mike Sutphin, as I said, I'm a TST. I'm a truth-seeking taxpayer. Truth-seeking taxpayer. And that's why I brought my truth light here. I'm not a politician. I am a non-politician candidate. And I have been a local resident here in Sarasota for 35 years, many years. And I was formerly from Cincinnati, Ohio. I like the Ohio State University Buckeyes, Fox News, talk radio, and truth from government. Of course, I have a great family. I love my family, especially my 5 awesome grandkids who all live here in Sarasota County. And 4 of them were well treated at their birthing at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. I have been a small businessman in this town, owner and employee in the residential construction and inspections business. Just like many other of you here have run small businesses throughout the years here in town, okay? I am the only candidate, certainly in this election, and I'm not sure, I don't think everybody here can vote for the Central District. Can somebody correct me? Everybody votes in all the districts. And okay, well then, please vote for me. You don't have to tell your neighbors in 342, 321, and 38, and 39. Okay, and so there are a lot of good small businessmen in this town. Okay, real quickly here, I'm going to read my mission statement because I have plans to be on the board, and I will be their black sheep, okay? But I am promising to pursue and demand from the board and the SMH administration truthful transparency and clarity on all their public stuff, and some of it they make non-public. Prudent and responsible decision making, especially financially, and future accountability for when we do something and it doesn't go wrong, it doesn't just get swept under the carpet. I will demand respect and more respect for we, the taxpayers' money, which continues to be used for arrogant spending and for expansion of our community hospital. It's a community expansion and a major renovation of a hospital. Okay, and I'm going to pursue full compliance with the state of Florida sunshine laws. Full compliance, and I think there are some issues there. Okay, and I will also work to prevent and eliminate. There's a secret toxic management throughout some of the hospital here, which has gotten worse in the last 10 years since Ms. McKenzie was here, and I've made that very clear, okay? Towards many previous, one more minute, Paul. Okay, for your information and consideration, in 1998 through 2003, the total county paid $10 million a year in taxes to the hospital. In the last 8 years, 2006 to 2013, that average is $46 million. 10 million to 46 million, okay, which is a 460% increase in dollars. And part of that was this board raising their millage rate by 290%, the millage rate, okay? And this does not include the dollars that we don't collect from those properties and state funds and grants. Thank you.
Are there any questions regarding to the candidates for the hospital board? Yeah.
I know you know I was going to. I want to know what the strategic plan is going forward. What's the Sarasota Memorial Hospital strategic plan over the next 5 years in terms of growth? Anyone can answer that for me, and money. Is there one? I'm sure there is.
There is a 5-year plan.
I'd like to know what the strategic plan is over the next 5 years in terms of money spending.
Oh, spending.
Well, how much is it gonna cost us?
Yeah, right now, what I can answer you, okay, is that the millage rate that we just approved is a temporary millage rate. Just like you get the millage rate that comes out and says this is a temporary one and it's a real one. We haven't completed the budget associated yet with the new year, the new fiscal year coming up. But right now, the millage rate that we have approved is the same millage rate that was in place for last year. So we're not prepared to do any kind of increase. Now, I can't speak for the whole board, but I know that we have had a discussion that if we can do anything we can to reduce the millage rate, we're going to do our best. Within the guidelines of a strategic plan, which is to continue to support those that can't pay, what unfunded, thank you. The charity care. We want to make sure we continue with the charity care. We have plans in place to continue build out and renovation of the existing hospital. In other words, we moved into the new tower, and the major piece of that was single rooms versus dual rooms. And now we're in the process of consolidating into the buildings that we own. And we finished up the Venice Urgent Care Center, and we finished the Lee Ridge, thank you. I'm brain dead. It's 9 o'clock. I'm shot. But anyway, there is a 5-year plan. The things that we are, we're looking at continuing to serve the underserved in the community. Obviously, we own First Physicians, and we're looking for opportunities for us to bring additional services throughout the county. First Physician Group is a physician group owned by the hospital. Bob, did I miss anything?
No, you're fine. The rate is 1.0863. And it's been that way since '09. It has not been raised. We established a rate about 2 weeks ago. That rate can be lowered. It cannot be raised. So it will be no higher than 1.08. And I think what we're trying to do is bring the hospital to the people as opposed to bringing the people to the hospital. We want to go out. We have a lot of urgent care centers that we're developing where people can go to, get service instead of coming all the way into the city and go to our emergency room. The emergency room within a hospital is a very expensive place to be. And so we're trying to bring things, make the hospital in your neighborhood as opposed to you having to come in. We're going to develop things in other cancer needs. Cancer might be one that we have a great heart physician. We could do better in cancer.